Today, we're going to talk about how to protect your peace. But we're also going to challenge a piece of advice that's super popular right now, advice that can sometimes push us toward a solution that's just as damaging: total isolation. So let's explore how to find that peace without having to build walls around ourselves.
You've seen this everywhere, right? It's all over social media, it's in all the self-help books. And you know what? It sounds simple, it sounds direct, and honestly, in some situations, it's absolutely the right call. The whole idea is that if you remove the sources of stress, you'll find tranquility.
Easy enough.
But this is the real question, isn't it? Does protecting our own energy really mean we have to build our walls so high that absolutely nobody can get in? Or is there a smarter, more skillful way to handle our relationships that lets us have both connection and peace?
So, let's really dig into this cut them off dilemma. Because while it sounds super empowering on the surface, when you apply that advice to everything, it can have some pretty serious consequences and often leaves us feeling more lonely than peaceful.
Now, this slide right here really gets to the heart of it. Of course, you absolutely need to create distance when you're dealing with genuine abuse, manipulation, or constant harm. That's a no-brainer. But what happens way too often is that we use that same nuclear option for, normal life stuff. A simple misunderstanding, general stress, or just feeling emotionally worn out. And when that becomes our default move, we risk cutting ourselves off from relationships that could actually be really supportive. And this brings us to a really crucial turning point. Instead of seeing peace and connection as these two opposing forces, let's reframe the goal entirely. The objective isn't isolation. That's a pretty lonely victory if you ask me. The real win is finding a lasting peace through a more skillful kind of connection.
And this is just a basic psychological truth. We're social creatures. It's how we're wired. And while we definitely need to protect our own space and energy, real lasting peace doesn't come from a life with no one in it. It actually comes from finding that balance where we can protect our well-being while still enjoying all the good things that come with healthy relationships. So, if the answer isn't just cutting people off, then what is it? Well, the answer is the boundary. A boundary isn't a wall designed to keep everyone out. It's more like a fence with a gate. It's a limit you set to protect your own inner world, and you and only you get to decide who comes in and when.
And these are perfect examples of what healthy boundaries actually look like in the real world. See, they aren't these huge, dramatic confrontations. They're just small, consistent actions. It's deciding you're not checking work emails after 6. It's steering a conversation away from a topic you know always starts a fight. Or it's simply giving yourself permission to not text back immediately when you need to rest.
Okay, so we get it. We need boundaries, but how do we actually do that? How do we build them and, maybe more importantly, maintain them? Let's break down a little psychological toolkit with 6 really practical strategies you can start using today.
Yup, 6 key shifts in thinking that can move us from that black and white, cut-em-off mindset to managing our connections with a bit more wisdom and skill.
First up, we've got to challenge that impulse to just slap a label on everything. Social media makes it so easy to call anyone who frustrates us toxic. But real relationships, they're messy. People have bad days, we misunderstand each other, and occasional conflict is usually a sign of a real, lived-in relationship, not necessarily a broken one. The trick is telling the difference between occasional friction and a consistent pattern of disrespect.
All right, strategy number 2 is all about managing your availability. You are not on call to manage everyone else's emotions 24/7. That's a one-way ticket to what psychologists call emotional overload. It is 100% okay to say you don't have the space for a heavy conversation. And this script right here, it's a powerful tool. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation.
Moving on to our third strategy, and this one is so incredibly useful. Think of your life and your energy like a tiered system, okay? Not everyone gets the same level of access. Your inner circle, they get the most time, the most trust, the most emotional energy. Trusted friends get a good amount too. And then you've got acquaintances. The real problem starts when we give everyone that inner circle all access pass. This isn't about kicking people out. It's just about adjusting how deep the connection is so that it's actually sustainable for you. Number 4 is a really subtle but powerful mental shift, practicing emotional detachment. Now, this doesn't mean you stop caring. Not at all. It just means you stop absorbing. So, instead of taking on someone else's bad mood as your own or internalizing every little piece of criticism, you learn to just observe it without letting it become a part of you.
This is what allows you to stay calm and centered even when things around you feel chaotic.
So the whole point of strategy number 5 is to be active, not passive. Avoidance can feel peaceful for a little while, but it usually just kicks the can down the road. Setting a clear boundary, like actually saying, hey, I'd prefer if we didn't discuss politics, is a much healthier, more sustainable solution that actually allows the relationship to continue just in a better way. And our final strategy might just be the most freeing one of all. A massive amount of our stress comes from trying to make other people think or feel or act the way we want them to. But the psychological truth is clear. You can't control anyone but yourself. Real peace comes when you stop trying to change them and start focusing on managing your own responses and adjusting your own boundaries instead.
So when you put all these strategies together, what does that path to true peace really look like? Well, it's not about building some impenetrable fortress around yourself. It's about becoming a better, more thoughtful architect of your own well-being.
And really, it all comes down to this. Healthy peace is found in balance, not behind barriers. It's an active, ongoing practice of managing your internal state and your external connections. It's about learning how to stay calm and centered while still being connected to the people who matter most.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Instead of asking yourself who you need to cut off, try asking this: which relationship in your life could actually become stronger, healthier, and more peaceful if you just introduced one better boundary?